Coming up, History News This Week, Episode 30. Namaste friends, my name is Shil Subramanian Paimal and you are listening to the Histology Podcast. Welcome to the 30th episode of History News This Week. Please note that History News This Week will be online every Sunday at 9:30 pm Indian Standard Time, that is 4 pm GMT. This week I have 5 interesting pieces of news items from the world of history and archaeology, followed by 3 wonderful articles. Let's start. First, expert recreates mysterious ancient pigment lost for centuries and was once worth 3 times its weight in gold. Tyrian purple was one of the most legendary commodities in the ancient world. The reddish purple natural dye began as a clear fluid produced by sea snails in the Murex family. Second, 1000-year-old skeleton of woman with emptied out skull buried next to husband. During their ongoing excavation near a 1000-year-old former royal palace built by Roman Emperor Otto the Great in Hefta, Saxony-Anhalt, archaeologists unearthed 2 skeletons who were possibly a married couple, according to Oliver Dietrich, an archaeologist with the German Archaeological Institute in Berlin. Third, pre-modern human skeleton found with traces of cannabis in world's first discovery and may have been self-medicating. A skeleton containing the first evidence of cannabis in skeletal remains has been discovered. The remains were originally located in a 17th century hospital crypt in Milan, Italy. They were investigated as part of a study involving the University of Milan. Fourth, 2000-year-old coin stash discovered at ancient Buddhist shrine in Pakistan. Archaeologists in Pakistan have unearthed an extremely rare hoard of copper coins thought to be more than 2000 years old from the ruins of a Buddhist shrine built at the even more ancient site of Mohenjo-daro. The coins and shrine, known as a stupa, are thought to date from the time of the Kushan Empire, a mainly Buddhist polity that ruled the region from about the 2nd century BC until the 3rd century AD and conquered the Greco-Bactrian kingdom established in Central Asia by Alexander the Great. Fifth, hominins hunted beavers at least 400,000 years ago, ancient bones reveal. Archaeologists say they have found cut marks on the bones of 2 beaver species from the 400,000-year-old hominin open-air site of Bischlengsbin in central Germany. Their results demonstrate a greater diversity of prey choice by Middle Pleistocene hominins than commonly acknowledged and a much deeper history of broad-spectrum subsistence than commonly assumed, already visible in prey choices 400,000 years ago. Now, coming to the 3 articles. First, the lost years of Jesus. Did Jesus have a difficult childhood? Was his youth spent in Egypt or England, India or Japan? The 4 canonical Gospels are quite on his early life, leading some to speculate. Second, the real history behind Empress Josephine in Ridley Scott's Napoleon. A new Bollywood epic traces Napoleon Bonaparte's rise and fall through his checkered relationship with his first wife. Third, the Stan you have never heard of. Little known and rarely visited Karakal, Pakistan is the largest province in Uzbekistan, but much of it is occupied by barren and inhospitable desert. Latest history book release of the week. Aryans, The Search for a People, a Place and a Myth, written by Charles Allen, is a pick of the week. This is Charles Allen's definitive account of the Aryans, offering a grand sweep of language, mythology, contested histories and conflict, spanning continents, cultures and societies, from the Russian steppe to the Indus Valley, the Iliad to the Mahabharata, Greek to Sanskrit, Putin to Trump and Muller to Vivekananda. Aryans astonishes with its scope. Allen, true to a style that has endeared him to a legion of admirers, weaves a narrative that is startling and illuminating. Product of a great investigation and meticulous scholarship, Aryans, Allen's last book, is his crowning achievement and marks the end of an illustrious career. History Podcast recommendation of the week. Real Dictators, hosted by Paul McGann, is a pick of the week. Real Dictators is the award-winning podcast that explores the hidden lives of history's tyrants, hosted by Paul McGann with contributions from eyewitnesses and expert historians. I will provide links to all the news items, articles, book and podcast mentioned above in the show notes. Please feel free to check them out. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the History News This Week. Hope you found it interesting. Please don't forget to subscribe to the Histology Podcast on your favorite podcasting app and check histology.com for book reviews and interesting tidbits from the pages of history. Looking forward to hearing from you. Have a great day and take care. Bye.